It is the
Smart
best. I
ass.
love it so much.
It's a slammer.
Yeah.
So look who's learning from Bae.
Alright guys, terrific show. 6th of September it releases on Prime Video. From me, Rishike, everybody who's watching, listening, I highly urge you go and watch it. It's called Call Me Bae. Ladies, you're looking $1 million. I love your jacket. I love that vertical stripes make you look taller.
Yes. So look who's learning from Bae.
And blue's your color. Whoa,
thank you.
lovely.
Thank you so much.
Looking fabulous.
Thank you.
And really, this show is fun, isn't it? I mean, every moment of it, the little bit that I've seen, fun just oozes out of it. Did you have as much fun filming it, Niharika?
We totally did. I mean, I didn't feel like I was working, so I was really like scared after we shot like the first 8 days. I went up to Colin and I was just like, listen, please just push me, tell me to pull up my socks, tell me if I'm not working hard enough, because I don't feel like I'm working, I feel like I'm at play. And he was like, please just don't overthink this at all. It's a light show, it's a fun show. So if you're having fun and it's coming out there in his lineup, he was really happy with what he was seeing. So I honestly didn't feel like I was working, I was having a lot of fun.
And you know, Ananya, honestly, I started watching the show and I said, oh my God, is she playing a bimbet? And then I realized she's really smart because, you know, she's got this A-grade social media game. She walks into Guru's office and she talks about, you know, how to revamp him and things like that. And you realize gradually that she's incredibly smart. Was that a worry for you when the script first came to you? Did you ask Colin that saying, I don't want to be portrayed as a bimbet?
So when the show came to me for the first time, I read it in one go. So I actually saw her whole journey. So that wasn't a fear for me. And I feel like that I'm so happy that you said that, because I think when people see Bae for the first time, and that's something she's felt in her real life, you know, growing up, she was always slotted into this box where she had to be this trophy daughter and then become a trophy wife. And that's the only thing that people saw about her. But there was so much more to her that, you know, people didn't care to discover. And when she comes to Bombay and she, you know, makes her friends and finds her tribe and actually finds what she's good at, she also learns and discovers so much about herself. So I think because I read it in totality, I was so excited to bring that heart to her throughout. You know, I was almost possessive about her and protective, and I was like, okay, I want people to not think of her this way. So how do I make her as human, as innocent, as real as possible? And I think me not judging her was like the first step to doing that. Like, I couldn't see her as a bimbet. Everything that she was saying, I fully believed it, because as a person, that's all she's known in life, you know. And nothing is coming from a place of stupidity when it comes to Bae. It's just coming from what she's known. And she's someone who is always ready to learn and, you know, adapt to the situation and the places she's in. So I think me not judging her kind of helped to not making her come across as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a spoiler because it's not a whodunit, but there is a particular scene where you discover a vada pav, which means you're willing to give it a shot and then you discover it.
Exactly.
You know, as opposed to looking down upon it forever.
Exactly. She was like, okay, I'm scared of carbs, but like, you know, let's do it, you know. I'm done being dushman with aloo and let's be friends. Yeah.
I love characters who have a quirk in them. For example, her character's quirk is a bit of OCD, you know, she wants everything to be pit-pat in place. Yours is a bit of a gambling streak, which I thought was terrifically written. You know, Ishita Mohitra has written the show. She's done a great job on that.
Along with Rohit and Samina.
Yeah, big ups to all the writers, wonderful. But it's not traditional gambling, which is shown normally in series and movies. Oh, ye ho raha hai, bada heavy hai, ye kar rahi hai.
Right.
It just happens on the way, isn't it? And that must have really appealed to you when the script came to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because it's not very out there and it's not very theatrical. But also the origination of it is what really pulled me towards the character. What happens with her, like as we watch the show, that what causes that to happen is what, the complexity of that is what really pulled me towards the character. Because otherwise she's like very out there, jugadu, needs to figure everything out, and she also is like a cheerleader for everybody and herself as well. But then it's fun for her at the beginning, but then,
I think with all the characters, even though they may seem a certain way, not trying to get too heavy, the show still gives everyone a reason for why they are what they are.
You know, for example, I know that both of you are Bombay girls. You know, Muskkan, you are, and so are you, Ananya.
Right.
Her character shows the hustle of somebody who's moving in as much as yours shows. Have you gone through that in real life?
I have.
Are you a Bombayite or a Mumbaiter?
So I
or
was
you?
born and brought up in Delhi. And so I came here for drama school in 20.
So you did the Bay hustle.
Yeah.
I did the Bay
Actually.
hustle. I actually did. I was
Wow.
yeah. Let's not go into that. That's an entirely
No,
different.
no. I
like,
mean, I'm interested to know. I mean,
No,
so-
definitely done the hustle. Definitely like taken the local every day from Andheri to Churchgate for my drama school. And then once you're out there in the big bad Mumbai world, and then you realize that okay, you have to make ends meet and figure it out, because I sort of took 1 year lease from my parents, because they were just like, the moment drama school got over, they were like, chalo jao, masters karo ab. And I was like, I've just learned these skills, I want to put them into practice. So I asked them for 1 year. I was like, give me 1 year. If I can sort of figure it out, then great. If I can't, then I'll go study. And that 1 year turned into 9 years. And I feel like that hustle really kept the drive in me, because I was like, I was really sure about the fact that if I can't pay my bills, I'm going to go home. So I think that just helped me just do more work, be more excited about that, and build my world like that.
And you know, in that effect, Bombay is really a wonderful city for a single girl to come in and do the hustle.
True.
There are problems like, you know, single girl in the acting business, will she get a flat on rent? But it's much better than other cities. And I can talk about it because it's on the same platform. Former Shots Please is another show about women, entirely different, not doing the hustle coming into Bombay. But you girls, I'd like your comment on that, on the safety of Bombay. I think you must have experienced that in those 9 years.
Absolutely.
See, the one thing that you stay back for is the safety. You can take an auto in the middle of the night. So I'd like you to comment on that, Ananya.
I feel like Mumbai just never sleeps, and that's what kind of
Yeah.
makes it safe. That's something that I've noticed, that, you know, everywhere you go there are people, and, you know, there are lights on somewhere. And I think I actually would like to, you know, celebrate Mumbai in that way, that they have kind of prioritized women's safety. One of the few cities in India actually that's doing a good
Yeah,
job
because
at it.
in Delhi it's a little terrifying. Like when you're walking from point A to B, you're walking, okay, and you're constantly like looking over your shoulder.
surviving
Oh my gosh,
in
you know,
Delhi.
constantly,
Yeah.
and there's like constantly in your gut, there's like this
There's a
knot.
feeling, yeah.
But in Bombay, like I was wandering, and I was like, oh my god, I can be lost here in a very lovely way, and also find my own. I found my walk in Bombay, you know, like managed to like get a little bit of a groove in.
And you don't have to every day worry about what you're wearing.
Absolutely.
things like
You
that.
really
It's
don't
just-
have to think about
unless
that.
it's an occasion and stuff like that. So for you in that aspect, it was really like discovering how to live alone, because you've always lived with your folks, and that must have come new to you. Do you have enough friends from outside who've done the hustle, who you've traded stories with?
Honestly, for me, I would admit that growing up, I was around the same people, and, you know, I've been in the same school my entire life. There wasn't much shifting around. All my friends were also the same growing up. But when I've come into the industry, I think every person I meet has a very unique journey. You know, actually, all three of us, our fathers are actors. Like all three of our fathers are actors, but we've all had completely different journeys. And I think for me, it's been just about talking to people on set, because I can't go back and redo my journey. Like, I can't change anything about the way my life has been. But I think just talking to people around me and absorbing as much as I can from their stories is like living the dream for me, honestly. It's like so much fun.
Actually, there's a hostel which is shown in the show,
Right.
which they call Lostel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind staying there. It's pretty cool.
I wish there's some.
It's a really fancy place.
It's a really cool
Buffet of
place.
personality.
But I don't think anything actually exists like that here. I don't know.
I mean, it
I
looks
think
to me like one of those European kind
yeah,
of
like in
places,
Amsterdam
yeah.
or something.
Like Zostel. I
Yeah,
think that's what they
that
like.
was
Like
That's
what they
breakfast
wanted to
spread,
do
I
there.
was just like marveling at that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, wow. मुझे रहना है यहाँ पे.
The fact that, I mean, I wish Veerdas were part of these interviews. He was just amazing.
He's so amazing.
And to see him do his stand-up comedy at one end and do his acting at the other end. And in that aspect, you have quite a few scenes with him. You notice his character, and there are lots of reactions on that character. So talk to me about working with Veer.
I think Veer, firstly, is the biggest gentleman I think that we've all come across. He's an amazing, amazing person. Also, I think something that happened with Veer was that he was busy because he had just won his Emmy. So he wasn't in Mumbai even when we did our first table read. So he was actually on Zoom. And I had no reading with Veer. Like out of all the actors, we've all had readings together. Everyone has had various combinations. But Veer was someone logistically that we just didn't have the time to sit and read with each other. So everything that he did on set, all the improvisations that he created, like actually was me reacting to it because I had no idea what he was going to do. Somewhere, you know, we had found our jam, we kind of figured out what the three of us were going to do. But Veer was that character. So the way Bae is reacting to Satyajit, I think Ananya was reacting to Veer. So they kept us apart. I don't think they were trying to do that, but
it just
so happened that it was like
There's
that.
a scene where you're taking the piss out of each other, which is just fantastic. It just goes boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Every scene was
I don't know if that was impromptu or how many takes you did for that.
The great thing about the show is actually the writing of it. Like there's very little that I think any of us kind of just improvised. Mostly everything was in the writing. I think all of us brought the physicality of our characters, like small gestures and stuff, but all the lines were in the writing. But we did a lot of improvisation.
And also this girl,
yeah, she's too
improvs
good.
a lot, adds a lot of like the lingo into it.
These
And
muhavras.
you see the bhencode thing, which I still can't do.
You just can't do it.
They found the move for it.
Muskkan,
I just wonder why should there be a hyphen between Ben and code? Probably in hashtags is just one word. It should just be a hashtag bhencode.
We will put your
But there's
computer
that's one thing I just thought. I said, shouldn't just be bhencode, but it's really fabulous. And I really think there are not enough shows made on sisters are doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, in a way. Former Shots is one example, but it's just a rarity. Do you guys agree with me? You think more shows should be made with...
Dude.
Because guys like to watch it, contrary to
You know
belief saying, oh my god, if it's going to be a girls show, will the guys watch it or not?
No. Honestly, whenever I'm reading, like, whenever I'm watching a film, reading a play, watching a play, reading a script to like pick it up or not, I always look to the Bechdel test and whether it passes or not. And almost always it fails, those scripts fail, which and like one rule of the Bechdel test is that two women are talking to each other in a scene, and B, that they're talking to each other about anything other than men.
Yeah.
And almost always, like, a lot of the scripts just fail that. And so
like so many of my films now in the past have failed
so
this
refreshing like that, you know, because it's so true. Like, I feel like women are breaking down each other's lives and dissecting it and cheering each other on constantly throughout, and that's barely like reflected. You know, it's always
That's
like
fantastic. It's a
centered
really
around.
valid point. It's like when the two of your characters meet, it's not necessarily about the boys at all.
We never talk. I just
Never.
realized that our characters have never spoken about the boys.
It's about the money and the 50-50, how much your shampoo costs, that. No, और भी गम है दुनिया
And
में.
you know, and
exactly.
that's what, like, a show that has hashtag bhencode, I'm so happy and proud about the fact that Ishita and Rohit and Samina actually like focused on that and brought it into the writing of it as well. You know, the fact that we're realizing that we barely speak about the men, like there are like
It's
very few
magical.
conversations
Only
that
when
happen.
like someone is there, something
Yeah,
is happening
yeah.
where we're like,
Ooh,
and
yeah, but
stuff.
Ben,
Barely, which is...
Actually, on that note, let's talk about the boys. We spoke about the Gurfateh in that aspect. I don't know where it's going to land up, and we don't want any spoilers. But when your scenes with him are very interesting because he's this very proper guy. You know somewhere that he likes you, but he's not being overly expressive. And at the same time, here is a situation where there's somebody else who's really interested in you, who you're somebody, you know. So, acting with Gurfateh and acting with Varun, these are all this whole breed of new actors, you know, it was so exciting.
It was, I think somehow, I don't know what it was, but I don't know if we are like our characters or our characters became like us, but I think naturally everyone who they were playing, everyone brought a lot of themselves into the characters. Like Gurfateh in general is, I wouldn't say shy, but he's a man of few words.
Yeah.
So I think that helped the character bring that little mystery. And Varun is just this loud, funny guy who everyone's, you know, in love with on set in the friendliest, most lovable way possible. And that was the most attractive quality of his character, Prince. So actually, this film was just, I mean, the show was just filled with characters who just they were just original in the best sense, you know. Everything wasn't, even though it's like a rom-com and it's fun and it's like a chick flick, even the most stereotypical characters had something quirky and fun about them, and I just had so much fun playing. You
Lovely.
know, we all were improvising and having so much fun. Yeah.
So, Muskkan, do you know Ananya from before?
No, actually.
You don't?
I never met her before.
Then I should ask you this question when she's not around, but she is around.
I'll close my ears.
It's okay.
What is going
What
to
is the most endearing quality? I mean, what is it that struck you about Ananya saying, wow, man, I mean, I didn't expect this?
You know, actually her vulnerability.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I have seen that. Like in a lot of moments, I think since day one, I didn't feel like she was ever pretending to be nice or pretending to be a certain way. Like she was always very enduring, very genuine. If she's feeling off, she's feeling off, and it's fine. Like as in, there's no, I don't think she puts up a face, which I really loved about her.
That's wonderful.
And I used to like notice maybe like is something off today, what's happening? Like, and then I'd be like, tell me what's going on. And she would just be honest and we would have a conversation. So I love that about her.
So none of that, I'm Bae and this is Call Me Bae, which is
Oh,
so
not-
wonderful.
Not at
So
all.
beautiful.
Not at all.
Big ups to you. Big ups
Yeah.
to you.
I
You
never
feel the
felt
same
like that
way?
only. Because even from the first table read, actually all of them knew each other somehow because they've done a lot of
We've done
theatre
theatre
together and
Theatre.
stuff.
Yeah,
So
these girls are all theatre
Exactly.
girls.
So I was like, oh my god, will they like me? Like, will I be able to be their friend? And even though it's called Call Me Bae and I am Bae, when you watch the show, actually it's everyone. Like, Bae would not be Bae
Characterization
without
is amazing.
everyone around her.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the music a little bit. There is this rap track called Mumbai Hustle.
It is so
God,
bad. I
yes.
love it so much.
It's a slammer.
Yeah.
And today they're launching one called Ve Sonia.
Big Sonia.
Yeah.
So, just a little bit about the music. If you can comment on Ve Sonia, which is out.
Vek
today.
Sonia is this like, I think it's a song. It's when Bae kind of comes to Mumbai, but it's also her song with Gurfateh's character Neil. So I think it's just a song about discovery, and it's got this like very catchy like Vek Sonia. It just keeps going Vek Sonia on repeat, but it's really lovely and catchy, and it has like that Punjabi twist to it and everything. And I think Azim has done a great job in bringing all these very original new voices. Like there's so many artists
Yeah,
that I've
I'm looking
never.
at the artists. And I'm going, I recognize Jubin Nautiyal, I recognize Rochak, and of course Lisa.
Lisa,
Lisa's also
yeah.
on the show. There's a whole bunch of new voices in
yes.
there, which is so needed.
It's amazing.
You know?
Even Ruel and Lisa, you know, she's acting in the show, but her song that, you know, she has a song in
Comes
the
in a very pivotal moment
movie, I think.
of the show.
But that I like that it's all fresh voices. It's not something that you've heard before, and every song is different.
And
like
even
we have the
Danish
rap.
Sood, who's
Yeah.
actually an actor,
Yes.
was very interesting on the Mismatch soundtrack.
Yeah.
He was there.
he's
So
fantastic.
It's a nice poppy soundtrack, and I'm so glad they're releasing it as a soundtrack, you know, which is so important.
Yeah.
So people can go through the whole journey of it. And every episode that way has a distinct sound to it. You know, there'll be a new song
Yeah.
which kind of pops out.
Yeah.
So the wonder of working with Colin.
It really is the wonder of working. Colin is just, like, he's just amazing, and I feel like when I found out, you know, that he was going to be a part of the show, we spent a lot of time with each other just talking about it. And for me, he's Bae. Like, you know, everyone thinks Ananya is like Bae in real life, but actually, I copied so much. Like, I would see a scene and I'd be like, Colin, show now how to do it, and he'd like get into the character
And with the voice.
Yeah, with the voice, and he'd do like the action. So much of it, like, and I heard that Karan
You
used to
actually
do that with.
segued into my next question beautifully, because I was going to ask you if you mirrored this on anybody.
I did. So I've taken bits from different, you know, like characters that I've loved growing up, but it's a lot of Colin as well, you know, because contrary to what people think, like I'm not Bae in real life. I'm very, very different from her. She's like this. She's maybe like a facet of my personality, which I'd love to be, honestly. Like she's very confident and out there, but I'm really not like her at all. So it took a lot of like confidence building and putting myself out there and kind of not being afraid to, you know, being laughed at and stuff, and just being really just believing in what she was saying. So there's a lot of Colin's, you know, that I've taken his bits of him like acting out and being Bae that I've incorporated, but he'll never admit to it and he'll never show you, he'll never do it, but yeah, I took a lot of it.
And how real is this? I mean, the fact, I've always wondered when I've stayed at a hotel, when I see uniformed staff saying, are they having a great time in rooms when rooms are empty? You know what I mean? It's so wonderful that is there, you know?
Right.
Rooms empty, fine, I want to go just chill out and watch a game, for heaven's sake, you know? So there's these wonderful nuances, which I think you've done very well, or all three of you have done, to add your own individual character to this. So this is actually my last question, because we're running out of time. If you were to choose one character other than yours in Call Me Bae, which would you choose?
I think I would like to take up Bae as a challenge because I don't think I could ever do that.
Ever do it.
So I think I would just like to see what happens if I fail miserably or not. So
Any other character you find fascinating and you'd like to do?
Probably Veer Das's character Satyajit, because I've never been like deliciously evil, you know, and like the most like
And I love that he wears shorts.
Just being so like against what I stand for in life, to do that on screen would be
Lovely.
scary.
Muskkan.
I would actually go for Bae. I mean,
Oh.
because that would be such a control. That would be fun.
Lovely.
Yeah, you'd really have to like
I have to like.
sober down.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
I would love to see Muskkan.
Yeah.
That's the word. Guys, 6th of September on Prime Video. It's called Call Me Bae. It has a wonderful ensemble cast. Great music, great moments. Please go and watch it. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
94.3 Radio 1.